Halfway through the Palm Springs International Film Festival, Claudia, Conrad, and a guest take a look at some of the events to date, chat about films they've seen, and about upcoming films and events.
Well, welcome to day 6 of the Palm Springs International Film Fest.
We're halfway there.
30th anniversary. I'm here with Conrad Angel Corral.
Good to be back.
And our behind the scenes, now in front of the scenes, producer, Alan Kramer.
Producer, director, editor.
Yeah, cameraman.
Everything.
Editor.
He's coming from behind the camera.
Everything
to
I
in front
don't
of the camera.
do, he do.
You do, exactly. Exactly.
So to start off, we're going to give you a little bit of a taste of what we've seen so far and all the great excitement, touches of great excitement that we've experienced since the games began.
And then we'll talk more about it.
Yes.
Right? All right.
Okay.
Let's take a look.
All right.
You're my favorite. The Palm Springs International Film Festival is just a ball. And when we made this movie, it never occurred to me to be here or at any film festival. I didn't think about that stuff. I didn't even know they existed. As I've said before, believe it or not, Dumb and Dumber never went to Cannes. But to find this world is just an amazing thing. And, you know, I know there's a slogan for Palm Springs. I've seen it on bumper stickers. Maybe it's not there anymore, but it used to be P.S. I love you. But I want to change it. I think you're more sophisticated than that. I think it should be P.S. de Resistance. Because that's what this place is. Thank you very much.
Good evening, folks. It's opening night for the Palm Springs International Film Festival. And we are at the, what would you call this? The after party?
The after party at the Air and Space Museum.
I'm happy to be here with Jordan Levine, sponsor, Stampede. Stampede, of course, produces the marvelous trailer that you'll see and come to love, and you do come to love at each festival. And we don't know all the films that are in the trailer, but we do know they will stampede your mind. And what did we see tonight that we enjoyed so much? Oh my gosh, opening night film, All Is True.
All is true.
And
Kenneth Branagh.
And Kenneth Branagh was in the house.
Say thank you for making this a beacon for people from all over the world to come and share our work. Thank you very much for having us. It is, as Shakespeare would put it, it is a good deed in a naughty world.
Arrested now 66 times, all for acts of civil disobedience. And it was usually revolved around anti-nuclear rallies, homelessness, or immigration issues. And so thank God we've solved all of those.
So Conrad, let's talk about the gala. Oh my God.
We have to start with the gala because that's where it all kicked off, right?
Opening night, gala night.
Gala night. And this one of the great things about what we're going to talk about right now, especially for our viewers, is that we're going to talk about the gala from 2 different points. You two got to attend the gala with my husband, who was also in attendance,
right?
And Jules, who was here on our last segment.
Yes, Jules.
Right? And I got to attend, but I was working the gala.
Right.
So let's talk about both of those. Why don't you two go first, because you both attended.
Well, it's interesting because we were outside for probably a really good amount of time.
We were pretty frozen by the time
we got pretty frozen.
I can tell you there were some issues. But you know, everything gets resolved.
We haven't heard about those, but you know, we'll talk later. So we did see, maybe only a few stars. Mahershala Ali come in, but then we were escorted inside, and you were escorting stars inside.
That's correct. So my responsibility, this is I think my 4th or 5th year doing this. And I get to be very fortunate to be one of the volunteers working inside the gala. And my responsibility is primarily being a VIP escort, which means, so when you come to the gala on the outside, that's where all the TV cameras are interviewing the celebrities and such. And then when you come inside, there's another red carpet, and that's where all the folks who get to go to the event can stand even closer and be with those folks.
Which is
Which is
exactly
where
what
we
I did.
were.
That's exactly
And
what
I
you-
saw people wander by me like Melissa McCarthy and Gary Oldman and the Mary Poppins kids and Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt waved and said hi to me.
Viggo Mortensen, who
Fabulous looking.
I don't know if I should say this, but I don't think he's quite lost all the weight from Green Book
But
yet.
darn, he is handsome.
He looked
He-
really
Between the
good.
two of them, him and Mahershala.
They were some of the best looking men
Yeah.
on that red carpet.
So
Yeah.
they came walking
Terrific.
by me on the red carpet exactly as you described.
Exactly. And what we do is we wait out. We see them as they arrive. They go into what's called the wrap room where they're doing a bunch of interviews, and then they're allocated to us. And they say, Conrad, take Melissa and whoever she's with down the red
So
carpet.
they weren't
and we follow
freezing
them.
outside. I
They
was
were not
wondering
freezing
about
outside.
that.
Now,
They
who
were
did you
freezing
escort
outside.
down the red carpet?
So let me
the
start,
second red carpet.
Let me start with Melissa first. So someone asked me before we went, who did you want to see? And I thought I would really like to have some kind of relationship with Melissa McCarthy. I thought that'd be fun. And luckily, she was one of my people to take down the red
Woohoo!
carpet. And let me tell you something really interesting that happened with her. And I thought it was very telling to what I think she is about as a person. We were going down the red carpet. We didn't make more than a couple of steps, and she was at the front of her line of people who were with her.
Right.
And she stopped, and she said, wait a second. And she went back a little ways in her group, and she got her husband, Ben Falcone, I think his name is, and pulled him to the front with her. And she said, now we can go.
Aww.
And I thought, you know what, I don't know you,
so
Melissa, at all,
sweet.
but that's exactly what you would think
That's-
someone would do.
yeah.
Husband and wife team, that regardless of who's the star of the day, they're a team and they go down the red carpet together. I thought, wow, that's a great way to start.
great.
Totally.
Right? I happened to also be very fortunate to walk down the red carpet with Glenn Close. Those are the two main folks that I worked with.
Well, I passed Adam Driver. I was going to my seat, and I almost turned around and escorted him.
I saw Adam too. Yeah,
He's
he
a
came
tall
walking
guy.
by.
Yeah.
He's very
He's
Yeah.
taller than me, I think.
He is
Yeah.
tall, yes.
It was also great to see so many people we know and met new people from the community here.
Oh, yes.
It's so supportive.
Well,
and Palm Springs is so supportive.
Very supportive.
Of the gala.
I forget
and
how
the
many
film fest.
How many people are in that ballroom, but there must be 3,000, I would guess. There's
It was immense.
Tables of 10, 17 down, and 17. I mean, there's a lot of people.
Beautifully
there.
done. The lighting, the band.
Oh, the food was pretty
And
good.
I heard the food
That
was
was
delicious.
not a band. That was an orchestra.
I'm sorry, the full-on orchestra.
Yeah. I'll talk about a few other interesting people that I saw, especially being that close to them. Emma Stone was there. She was making a presentation, right?
I didn't recognize her. Short bob.
Hard to recognize her.
Dark hair.
And she came in, and she was she was what I would consider to be the fastest person on the red carpet. She came in and boom, 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 off she went, and I don't know where she went to. She went to her, maybe she was up first, I don't know what it
Yeah.
was, but she moved very quickly. Let's talk about some of the films we've seen. So what about you? What about
We
something-
saw, let's see, what did we see on Friday? Cinema Paradiso. We did a canon.
Those are
and,
always good.
You know,
That was the first time I saw Cinema
Yeah.
Paradiso.
Oh, is that right?
And it is just a magnificent film.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful film.
it was just dreamlike.
Two films that I really loved was one of them was Stan and Ollie. About
It
Darn, I
was
wanted to see
Laurel
great.
and Hardy, and it was just wonderful.
That was
right?
also
Especially
charming,
if you grew up
endearing,
watching
funny.
those guys on black and white TV.
Yes, which I did. Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings, right?
Steve Coogan and John C. Reilly, and they were fantastic. It was. You'll
That's a
see
must-see.
it. You'll
That's a
see. it.
must-see.
Yeah,
And
it's a
the, and
must-see.
the other one I saw that I absolutely loved, Claudia didn't see it, was Upside.
And what
The
is that
Upside.
about? What is that
And
about?
that is Bryan Cranston and Kevin Hart. And Bryan Cranston is in a wheelchair. He's quadriplegic.
Yeah.
They're just putting that out on trailers now.
And they have Kevin. Kevin comes in and somehow manages to get the job as his caregiver. And it is
That's got to be a comedy.
uproariously
Yes.
funny, but also touching in other ways.
Oh, interesting,
So
interesting.
I just thoroughly enjoyed every minute of that.
Oh, that's a must see.
I'm sure that's going to hit the theaters
I'm
really
sure, yeah.
soon,
Yeah,
all
it's-
over.
Well, they're just releasing the trailers now on commercials, so it's coming, right?
The other one that I really, really loved, and I think you did too, was The Public with Emilio Estevez.
yes.
I mean, he wrote, directed, do I have this all right? Wrote, directed, produced,
Yeah.
starred.
Took him 12 years to
Yes,
get it.
I heard it
12
took a long time.
years.
Now, didn't you both see him in talking, or wasn't he there?
Yes,
to
we
have
went
a
to the
discussion?
reception also. We chatted with him.
Talked to one of the actors there too. There's they talk a lot about
Smuts.
it being cold and
That was his character.
I don't want any spoilers here, but they talk about it being cold in the movie, and so I asked him, and he said there were some critical scenes they had to film outside. If you see the movie, you'll know what I mean.
Yeah, you'll know. Well, the whole
And he said we went to Cincinnati. We started filming. The whole film was done in I think 22 days.
22 days.
That's
And we started filming, and he said the temperatures were very temperate for Cincinnati for February. It was February last year, and then he said, but the nights that we had to film outside,
Wouldn't you know?
suddenly it dropped to like 30 degrees.
Which works for the film, right? Because
But it was,
something takes place.
It was
right?
kind of brutal for these guys.
Now, this was the U.S. premiere of the public, and Emilio is still traveling around
But it's got-
promoting because
It's got distribution, and it's opening in
does.
theaters on April 5th.
Oh, good.
So if
Which
you
is
don't-
right adjacent to Library Week, because it's about public libraries and homeless people in public libraries. That's
Well, the homeless
essentially-
situation is really grave. So his whole point of view here is to raise awareness about homelessness
humanize
and humanize homelessness and in the public libraries.
So we had a chance to talk to him. We had a chance to talk to one of the actors. I also talked to the film editor, which was quite something because this guy has a resume. He edited little
Yes.
movies that you never heard of, like Star Wars, the original.
John Chu.
Yeah, and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you got some one-on-one time with them.
Yeah.
I saw a film called The Accountant of Auschwitz.
Oh, I've been wanting to see that.
I love documentaries, and this one was amazing because they talked about this guy who he's 94 years old. They were bringing him back for all the
After all those
atrocities that
years.
went on, right? And not only did you learn about him, and this movie took you from the place, is it right to come back and try to get somebody for something that they did many, many moons ago, right? And so it's kind of comes from that
Right.
direction.
And I think he was in his early 20s when
when it happened, and
Yeah.
he's now 94 years
Yeah.
old, and so it's talking about some 70 years later talking about that. So.
Well, speaking of documentaries, we saw Botero.
Oh, I wanted to see that.
Oh, it
And
was
of course,
really
that is about
beautiful.
the art
Fernando Botero,
who
yeah.
does
Monumental paintings and
big
sculptures.
big people pictures,
Yeah.
big people paintings.
But
big
there's
people
always something
sculptures.
that's small.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
the eyes or. You
and
know.
that was good.
It was very, very
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
I wanted to see that, and I'm sure these are going to be out on
Oh, that was beautifully
Netflix,
done.
so
The
they're
music
going
was
to be
gorgeous
somewhere.
too.
Right?
The music was
They're terrific.
gorgeous. So it's fine. It was nice to see that at 9:30 in the morning because you could just sort of melt into
Yes,
it.
yes.
You know.
And I want to talk about one called Champions.
Oh,
so this
I know.
was
We
best
missed
foreign
that,
language
and I
film from
wanted
Spain,
to see that.
right? Best foreign film, best foreign language film from Spain. It's a comedy about a professional basketball coach who something happens to him and he has to do community service, and the community service is to help disadvantaged individuals who have their own basketball team who are very, very bad. And he doesn't want to be there. They are totally in love with him because they're just so caring, and it's just the progression of him not being there to how he enjoys being there and how the group comes together as a team. Just beautifully done.
We went to a fun party on, I believe it was Monday night, the Telefilm Canada party, and that was at 849, and that was a packed event.
Is that right?
So we talked to Michael Lerman a little bit. I think he shared with you, well, when we get to the film that we're talking about, he'll share with you what his favorite film has been so far too.
And yesterday, you and I saw Cold War.
Czarne oczka, co płaczecie, że się spotkać nie możecie, że się spotkać nie możecie.
I went to see it because I heard that the music was going to be amazing.
And it looked beautifully shot, like a film noir.
Both of those things.
Yeah.
The music was amazing. And some of the art, a lot of the art direction and the still shots,
Yeah.
you just had to look at it and think, I need to be there.
Exactly.
I want
know.
to see that, right? It was done well. But it was an interesting ending.
Yeah,
and
I thought it was a little lacking in the end. I mean, I know
we know what happened.
we
We
know
don't
what-
want to tell you because it's a movie worth seeing, right?
L'amour fou,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
how many years of this was going on, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and they were both successful in their own
And
right.
it's a love story that can't happen, and that's kind of what it's about.
Yeah,
all set in the Cold War era,
Yeah.
and to beautiful music.
Poland and then Paris.
Paris, yes. So those are good.
So yesterday we saw a film that's Michael Lerman's one of his favorites, and which was Shoplifters.
Oh, loved it.
That's supposed to be excellent.
Loved it.
And it was quite an experience. It's very immersive. It draws you into the film. You're brought into a whole world.
Yeah.
And where is this at? Where is this from?
Japan.
And I think this is their entry, isn't it, to Best Foreign Film?
Yes.
Yeah, in fact, it's on the short list for the Oscar.
And what is this about? I mean, Shoplifters, is that what it's about?
Yeah, it's about what appears to be a family at the beginning, and then you learn a little bit more about how these people came together and who they are and what their relationships are. It's quite intricate.
Everyone
at
has a
times.
backstory, including the little kids.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, it's
and you don't think of that in
definitely-
Japan.
It's definitely worth seeing. And then we had a
There was a Q&A with
Q&A with the director who spoke completely in Japanese through a translator.
Interesting.
But he gave some insight into the film and where he came from. on it.
Yeah.
So that's what the great thing about these festivals is. This festival is that you get to listen to and interact with the people that have made the films. They suddenly jump off the screen and there they are.
Yeah. And I love
Well,
that.
I mean-
regardless of which film festival is playing here in the desert, when you come to these, and you really get to be one-on-one with those people, with those individuals who are in the movie, who have made the movie, who are editing the movie, and ask them a variety of different questions. I love that one.
We have to go back to opening night because we were at All Is True. Did you have a chance to see?
No, no.
I think you were busy. All Is True with Kenneth Branagh. Now we did not know, and unless I missed something, I didn't see that he was going to be there. But he actually introduced the film. We saw the film, which was. This is the story of Shakespeare after he retires,
that's right,
and
that's right.
what happens, and he goes back to his family, of which he had been, away from in London, producing all these plays after the Globe Theatre burnt down. He had to move back home and get to know his family, and again, each one of them had a backstory.
And who else is in that film? Who plays the wife?
Judi Dench.
Judi Dench.
She was
yes,
amazing.
Yes.
And it started out very, very slow, and after you've been sitting through a few films, you're sort of like. And then it really, you learn about the daughter and the other daughter and what's.
Cool.
There was
That's
a
good.
lot going on, and then he came back for a Q&A. So that was
Another film we saw, we actually saw it before the festival. We went to the theater to get prepared because we knew we wouldn't have the schedule, is Green Book.
yeah.
Oh
my God.
I just saw that
And
also.
it was fabulous.
The best.
And
See it.
then the next
The
day,
best.
the whole cast of Green Book just walked right
They
by
just
me
all
on the red
walked in,
carpet.
and they look at the sweep at the
At
Well,
the
they
Golden
won.
Globes.
They got a great award at the gala.
At the gala and
they
the Golden
won
Globes.
The Golden Globes since
Yeah.
we saw them.
And speaking of things that we saw ahead of time, because we're in the film mode right now. I saw Mary Poppins,
So
Oh,
did
Mary
we,
Poppins
yeah.
Returns. We saw that too.
and I'm going to take it that you enjoyed it, and
We-
I'm going to tell you I did not
You did
enjoy
not?
it.
We did.
We enjoyed it.
We enjoyed it, but it was kind of disappointing.
It was
Well,
disappointing.
I think the characters did great, like Lin-Manuel and Emily and the kids. Although the music will never live up to the original.
Yeah, I guess I'm stuck on what the story was, and the story kind of goes along the same lines, but I didn't care for the two leads. I didn't.
You didn't like them?
No,
Really?
there was only one song, the song where the balloon lady, who was that?
Angela Lansbury.
Angela Lansbury.
When she's sitting there, I thought to me that was the song of the songs, and I'm used to Mary Poppins just having thing after thing,
Yeah.
catchy
Yeah.
after catchy.
It was.
The
I think we
animation-
were
Yeah.
all disappointed. It
Yeah,
sounds like,
which is too bad because it's Mary Poppins, and we want to love all of it.
They had.
Right.
I mean, who can live up to that original?
Yeah, that's
film?
hard. That's the hard thing
one
about
of the
bringing back.
classics of all time.
Yes, exactly.
Talking about things we didn't enjoy too much, which we pre-saw also, but Alfonso Cuarón was here. We saw Roma.
I've yet to see that, and I'm hearing mixed
and
reviews.
Jules loved
there
it.
are
A
some of
masterpiece.
us
She
that
called
like
it a
this.
true masterpiece.
But the way I
People
saw
love it, or they're just sort of.
the way I saw it is it took me to a whole different place, but it wasn't a place I wanted to be. I wanted to get out of that place. As
I
soon
didn't
as-
think really
as
bad of
soon as
it.
I could.
This is the beauty of film festivals, and this is the beauty of just going to films in general.
Right.
3 people can go to the same film and see it differently and experience it differently, and that's okay.
Have any other
Oh,
films you
I have
wanna
one.
So
get
good,
to?
good.
Yellow is Forbidden. That was beautiful, and that's a documentary, and it's about the haute couture. But it's a Chinese woman. I mean, she's a top of the top designer of couture in China, and Guo Pei, and it's all about her actually trying to get into the haute couture in Paris. The steps that had to be taken.
So is there a lot of fashion, obviously?
There's
then?
a lot of fashion.
Is
It's
it cool looking?
beautiful.
Yeah,
It's very, very beautifully shot. But I mean, it's a vicious world.
I'll tell you my final film just for now, because there's a lot of films coming up we haven't even got to yet.
Yeah, there's so many.
My last one would be Giant Little Ones.
Yes, I was going to ask you.
So this was part of the Queer Cinema
Right.
Today category. And I've talked about this when we were on camera last time, and it's a very well done, funny and dramatic story about coming out and about labels that are associated with people because someone knows someone who's gay or someone thinks someone is gay. And there's interesting discussion between the two stars about this one girl who is probably transgender, and she wants to know what it feels like to be a man, and she does some things that make her feel like a man, and they have a little discussion about that, which is hilarious. And there's also a great discussion between the father and the son about not having to claim who you are yet. You're still growing and learning. And just a fun little movie.
Great.
Yeah. And I love a good gay film that's not about, all the typical stuff. Let's talk about some films that we are looking forward to seeing at the end of the festival.
Well, this afternoon, Spike Lee,
Black Klansman today at 4. I so wanted to talk to him at the gala, and I kind of came this close, but then there were photographers right in front. At the after party, on the pathway in the Parker, heading in, literally we bumped into each other. He turns around and gives me the biggest hug, and he's so sweet. I wanted to start interviewing, but I thought, no, he's too cool for that,
That's
you know?
cool.
This just in, Claudia gets a hug from Spike Lee.
Yeah, that's it. That made my night.
He's so calm, right?
Yeah.
Everything is cool. Everything's almost like, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that the next two films that I'm looking forward to, I think I have 6 more films to see coming up. I want to see The Destroyer with Nicole Kidman.
You know what? I'm going to go and see it.
Yeah, it's going to be a must because
even though it sounds like a downer, I still want to see it.
I like when people do something against their type that we usually know, and I think this is one of those movies.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I also want to see Amazing Grace.
Amazing Grace tomorrow morning.
Yes, that's good.
Tomorrow morning.
By the way, I should mention
Amazing Grace,
that
Aretha.
Nicole Kidman, in a totally different kind of role, was also in Upside with
She was in
Kevin
The Upside?
Yeah, but a big
Oh,
role.
I didn't even
She
know.
was a big role in Upside.
Oh, I didn't know.
And you might not even recognize her at
The
first.
trailer, yeah. Oh, very
And
cool.
She was terrific.
Tomorrow we're seeing, I don't know if you're seeing, but I'm seeing Husband Material.
Oh, that should be good.
And that should be really
should be funny.
Bollywoodish, right?
Yes,
that should be definitely. So that should be fun.
So let's talk about the end of the festival. So the festival, the final day is on the 13th, which is Sunday.
Sunday.
You guys are both going to
Ladies in Black, which is the closing gala.
And we'll
which
see
should
if I
be
go. We'll
very
see.
exciting.
That should be terrific.
And it's followed by actually a closing gala, which is
like the
looser
final.
than the original gala, but it's a fun kind of party celebrating, what a great 10 days or so we've had.
And then the final event will be Best of Fest.
Best of the Fest,
which is going to be on Monday the 14th. It's going to be at the Camelot Theater.
Mm-hmm.
And those tickets go on sale starting Sunday night, probably around 5, 6, 7
Mm-hmm.
o'clock. And you have to look at the site because as soon as they go on sale, those things start
they
going
go
very
really
quickly.
fast.
Exactly. So drop on by Best of Fest the 14th, and we'll be there. All things go well.
All right, so we hope to see you all out. We still have 6 more days, I believe, right?
I think we can
We're
do that.
halfway there. We can do it, and then you've got the Best of the Fest, and we love Palm Springs, don't we?
We do.
No one does it
Here's
like
to
this.
Palm Springs
Cheers!
and the Film Festival.
And the festival.
Film
There you go,
Fest,
there you go.
yeah.
We'll see you there.
See you there.